Welcome into the Bitcoin Made Simple podcast. I'm your host, Corey Tusick. On today's episode, we are going to talk about, is Bitcoin on the ballot? Is Bitcoin on the ballot? We shall find out. It's election day, and I think you guys have figured that much out. Anyone that's, God, I wonder what it's like for you guys that are not in the United States, because it's getting a little overkill. I, unfortunately or fortunately, live in one of the swing states. I live in Pennsylvania. That's the most information you're going to get from me. But I live somewhere in Pennsylvania. And if you've been paying attention at all, basically whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win the election, which has meant that which means they have been dumping untold amounts of money on the public airwaves, the private airwaves. I know that at sporting events there have been airplanes flying signs. I'm surprised that I just can't walk down the street and see a sign, flying from a blimp or God knows what. It is out of control. I do my best to try and ignore it. It's a little difficult at the moment, given that we're at the day before it's election eve. I made this joke before. I'll make it again. Election Eve is kind of like Christmas Eve, except instead of having trouble going to sleep because you can't wait to see your presents, what presents you got in the morning, you can't wait to go to bed and wake up and find out whether or not the world's coming to an end or you got what you wanted, something like that. I really butchered the joke. I'll tweet it out later so it'll make more sense because I'll have thought it through. But yeah, it's like, oh, did I get what I wanted, or did the world want to fall? Did the world fall apart? And I have to tell you that as a Bitcoiner, this is what being a Bitcoiner has done to me. I'm sitting here like pointing to people like, no matter the outcome, it's bad. It's really pessimistic. Uh, I'm not going to give you guys my political opinion. Do I think there is a candidate that's better than the other one? Sure. But no one's coming to save you in the political world. And if you're a Bitcoiner, you shouldn't be relying on political candidates for, the viability of Bitcoin. It should be on you as a person. You should get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. I didn't start with that because I've been told that I shouldn't do it right away. So go to bitbox.swiss/Bitcoin made simple. Use promo code Bitcoin made simple to get 5% off. Your hardware wallet is the most important thing that you can buy outside of the Bitcoin that you own. You gotta store it somewhere. You gotta get it off of an exchange. And if you can't get it off of an exchange and onto a wallet, there are tutorials galore, but the other ones might be really scary and intimidating. The Bitbox is not such. It is simple, easy to use. And yeah, I love it. It's how I use it. It's open source. It's good whenever it's open source because the nerds have had a chance to look at it and say nobody's doing any funny business. So get yourself a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Use promo code Bitcoin Made Simple, all one word, to get 5% off your order. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm sitting here like, no matter what, we're effed. It's kind of how I feel. It's really, it sounds really negative, but actually, from a positive standpoint, I'll spin it this way. Okay, so I started off as Bitcoin on the ballot. I do not believe so because Bitcoin should survive without politicians, with or without them. It appears that Kamala Harris is much more averse, or like she's much more against Bitcoin. Or it's certainly, let's just put it this way, at a minimum, less pro Bitcoin. Trump, on the other hand, accepted a speaking fee to talk at the Bitcoin conference. Oh, he was at the conference. Oh my God. Yeah, speaking fees will do that. But all in all, he's been slightly more pro Bitcoin. I have some bad news. He instantly came out with a shitcoin. Like, instantly. This is like Trump shitcoin to raise money, to pry money out of other people's wallets. Um, so there's no perfect answer here. There really isn't. It is it's pretty ugh. Um so no matter where you look, it is not great. There aren't a ton of great options. Um so I'll go with this angle for you to so hopefully you can understand this. The best way for you to avoid the political fracas is to focus on your self sovereignty. The number one way you can do that with money is with your Bitcoin. You know that. Obviously, put it on a Bitbox02 hardware wallet. Got to use promo code Bitcoin made simple. Use 5% off. Blah, blah, whatever. I butchered that. Obviously, self custody, getting your Bitcoin, getting outside of the system is most important. We get that. There's other ways though, and I'm not here to push my religion on you, so you might have different views or whatever. I'm just talking from personal experience. My religious beliefs are so strong and supersede this physical world that it actually takes a ton of weight off my shoulders. I'm just like, well, whatever. Like it very much in the same way that Bitcoiners are like, oh, it's normie world, so I'm not going to do what the normies do. Very much in the same way, uh, my faith has done that for me, where I'm just like, like what's that? Like I sit there and I look over, I'm like, oh, okay, that sucks. And then back to focusing on what really matters, because once you understand that there's something bigger than this world, um, you start to realize that the only threats that can be made are in this world. So you just sit there and smile and say, yes, I will, I will not be scared of what problems you could cause in my world right now. I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to because here's the thing, it's all a distraction. Whether you are on the right or on the left, you're one of those two sides is going 50% of the country is going to think tomorrow that a dictator has been installed and the country that they know and love is over. And it's easy to get sucked into that. You have to pull back and realize that it's not like that's all a distraction. That's distracting you from what life is really about. Life, in my opinion, you might have different ones, but I'm just sharing. Life is about bringing people together, about being the light of Jesus Christ, I guess, for me. And that light ultimately leads people back to heaven. Am I perfect at it? Nope. Are we all perfect people? Nope. But you can step back and realize that anything that's happening in this physical world is really just a distraction. It's to distract you from what the ultimate reality or the ultimate goal should be, which is to, in If you believe in different religions, whatever, you all have different to, enter the kingdom of heaven or nirvana or, whatever you're like, if you believe in something more than this world, that is, and I hope you do because that's the truth. But if you believe in something more than this world, this physical world, you're spending an awful lot of time focusing on the stresses of this physical world. Um, so no politician's gonna come save you. So on the spiritual side, don't make politics a religion. Don't. Like too many people do. People go to the Church of Republicans of Latter-day Saints or the Church of Democrats of Latter-day Saints, whatever. If you're too wrapped up into politics, you have a religion. You go to a religion, and it is whatever your political beliefs are. By that token, don't make Bitcoin a religion. It's just money. It's the best form of money. It solves tons of problems. It can really fix a lot of the world. But it's a tool to help fix the world. It's not Bitcoin chugging away as it's going right now, that, one block at a time is not going to solve the world. Solve all the world's problems. It's not going to fix the world. What's going to fix the world is us. You and I, the other Bitcoiners out there that are taking action and doing it in you know, a good way, a way that makes Bitcoin, ensures its, capability to survive any attacks and ensures that it'll be around for a long time, ensures that, you do it in a way that you are going to help people not get scammed by shit coins and all that kind of stuff. And there might be people that be like, well, you have to do it in a super loving way. Um, Not necessarily. And again, to point to religion again, I will point out to you, um, uh, if you follow Jesus at all, if you've ever read anything, you know that he was like to the Pharisees and the powers that be at the time, he was, you know, unapologetically, not overtly mean or, trying to insult them. He was telling the truth, but he was boisterous and, you know, vehemently going after them. And, I mean, he went into the temple and flipped the tables and told them that, they were, you know, rotten with filth on the inside, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it's like, so you don't have to sit there. People are like, "Oh, Bitcoin's for everyone, so we need to be loving and accepting of all the shit coins out there." It's like, no, flip the damn table. Go to a shitcoin conference, flip the table, and tell them to get out of here with their garbage money. Everyone else is a scam. They're all trying to take your money. But it comes down to us. It's a tool that we can use to make the world a better place. We've just got to do it together. I hope we can do that. I hate seeing so much division. But the only way we're going to get rid of the division is if people start taking their, you know, political side, attire off, taking off their team jerseys, team red, team blue, whatever you are. And just be like, you know what? For the most of us, the vast majority of the world, we kind of are sick of this. And let's just kind of find a way to move forward together. Bitcoin is a tool that can do that. It ultimately, all paths in the shitcoin world lead to everyone realizing that Bitcoin's the only one that will stand. So don't insult them, be mean, and turn them off from Bitcoin. But by all means, don't apologize. Be unapologetic in your attacks against shitcoins and why they're terrible, and use facts and use reality. Don't make it personal. Just you can just sit there and state the facts, but it is literally a scam. What is its value? If you're in Bitcoin this long, then you know. So, anyways, That's all I got to say about that. Uh, One way or the other, Bitcoin keeps going. TikTok next block, and you should get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. And I'll talk to you guys next week.